guest in the studio with us today is County Manager George Wood of Wayne County. How are you, sir?
Fine. Good to see you, Wayne.
Always great to have you in the studio with us. This past Tuesday, again, a Wayne County Board of Commissioners meeting, a lot of ground covered. We had 4 public hearings.
That's right.
And there was some talk among commissioners early that, gee whiz, how did this happen? We had so much to do, but they went through it pretty quickly.
They really did.
There was a lot of work done this past Tuesday. What are some of the things that stood out in your mind about this past Tuesday's meeting?
Well, I think one of the first things is, of course, we held our annual budget public hearing where the public can come in and comment on the budget. We got it out about the 24th of May, so folks have had about 2 weeks to look at it. And I think we had about 4 people come in and make comments on it. Which is a good sign if you don't have too many people coming in to make comments on it. But so we're ready to have a work session on that next Tuesday, and that'll be on our internal departments. And then the following day on Wednesday, we'll have a meeting to go over the outside agencies who've requested funding.
Okay.
So that was one of the biggest things, I think. But the really biggest thing we did, Wayne, I think we made a huge step forward in terms of our school facilities.
Right.
Dr. Dunsmore has been working with us. They have prepared a facilities plan, a 5-year plan. Actually, it goes out 10 years, but their first phase is for the first 5 years. As you know, we recently approved a technology plan for them. And so I had worked with Dr. Dunsmore and his staff on that. We got that funded. That's all in the budget, so we've gotten that taken care of. We're going to jumpstart that with about $750,000 in next year's budget.
Wow.
So that's going to be a big improvement there. But they've got a well thought out plan. We've gone over it very thoroughly. I was very impressed with it. The board was very impressed with it. So we've approved that about 2 months ago. Mm-hmm. Now on this one, the facilities, they've been working for many months on that. Again, I think I give Dr. Dunsmore a lot of credit. He and his staff, and then ultimately the Board of Education, approved this plan, and it addresses a number of concerns. One of the concerns that the Board of Commissioners have had is that in the past they've had some facilities that were underutilized, and that was primarily because they hadn't changed attendance lines. This program they've come up with addresses that. They're making solid use of the facilities they have first. And so they're doing that, and if that means moving some attendance lines, they're going to do that. So we were very, very pleased to see that. What this entails is we will build a replacement elementary school at Meadow Lane.
Oh, great.
Now, one of the problems that the school system has had is the Edgewood Developmental School is in a pretty old facility. Yeah. They're spending a lot of money to keep that in operation from a capital standpoint. And so what Dr. Dunsmore suggested, and I agreed with him, is we should spend about $3.8 million and add a new wing to that Meadow Lane school and move the developmental school over, because they only have about 121 students.
At the developmental
school. So when he does that, he saves a lot on the overhead. You don't have to have 2 principals and assistant principals, and you just go on down the list.
Right.
Plus, the facility will be new, and we won't have all of the repairs and the continuing problems there. And with that, that saved over $500,000 that we were able to put towards the debt service on these new facilities. So I give Dr. Dunsmore a lot of credit on that. That was a great idea.
All right, now what about the existing Meadow Lane School? What will happen to?
What we will do, Wayne, is we have enough room there that we will build the elementary school while the current one is still in existence. Okay. And then when we finish, basically what you'll be doing is that'll be torn down. You change the parking and some playgrounds and things like that.
Okay.
So we'll actually we don't have to move the kids out in order to another location in order to tear it down and build. We've got room to do it on site, then we'll demolish the old one.
Great.
So the other components to this is that Goldsboro Academy will be turned back into Goldsboro Middle School. And a lot of the facilities that were there will go to School Street what is School Street Elementary now. And the reason we're able to do that is there are about 8 unused classrooms at Carver Heights, and he's going to move those classes from School Street over to Carver Heights and 1 or 2 other elementary schools. So again, he's looking to utilize the facilities we have first. And the second component to this is we have a lot of overcrowding at Northwest Elementary because, as you know, the northwestern part of the county has grown pretty rapidly. I believe we have about 15 or 16 mobile classrooms there. We've got a few more in some other elementary schools in the northern end of the county. So what he's proposing there is that we would build 22 elementary classrooms, either all at Fremont Stars Elementary or about half at Fremont and half at Northwest Elementary.
Okay.
Either way, we're going to be able to get rid of these mobile classrooms and get these kids in bricks and mortar schools. So I think that's a tremendous improvement. And the other thing we're doing then, because we were able to save some money on what we thought was going to be the initial cost of Meadow Lane and Edgewood, we came back with some refined numbers. He's been working with an architect who's doing a similar school down in Onslow County. Came back and said we could cut our estimate by about $1.8 million. So with that, we went back and said, well, we had already talked about adding the auxiliary gym at Southern Wayne, and that was about $2 million. Well, with this savings, we were able to put another $1.2 million with that and put the 6 classrooms down there as well. So that project is now $3.2 million. So that took care of that. And then the last thing we're going to do is put air conditioning into the middle school gym at Rosewood.
Okay.
So it's a solid program. We will continue to fund them $2 million a year out of the restricted sales tax for school construction, which goes into renovations and maintenance of the facilities. And the other thing I'm very impressed with that Dr. Dunsmore has done as the new superintendent is he's giving us an itemized list of exactly what he's going to do with the $2 million.
Wow.
So it's a well thought out plan. Again, I give him a lot of credit. I think for someone who's been here just under a year, he's done a lot of work.
He has,
So I want to give him a lot of credit. The Board of Education did a good job on it. And of course, I want to commend the Board of Commissioners. They voted 7-0 to do this.
Yes.
So
unanimously.
And then the best part for our citizens is it does not require a tax increase.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. We're using, as I said, we saved about $500,000 there. You may recall, Wayne, that we refinanced the debt service on the Grantham and Spring Creek schools. That saved us about $248,000 a year. So I was able to put that money towards it. So that got us close to $750,000 there. I needed about $1.66 million.
Right.
Then the sales tax that's restricted for the schools, it grows some every year. So we'll issue these bonds in January of 17. The first payments won't be till July of 18. So I'll actually have 2 fiscal years of growth there. That's factoring in probably another $400,000 or so. And then the remainder of it will be from county funds. But if you recall, I said we were going to do $750,000 on the technology plan next year. That was to jump start it. Now $600,000 of that is for 1 year. And so we'll take some of that $600,000 and that'll pay the balance of what the county needs on these schools. Our plan on the technology is that every year as the county's revenues grow a little bit, we give the schools a part of that growth. And what we're planning on doing is $150,000 of that new growth every year will be restricted for this technology plan. So the first year we put in $150,000. Now with the $600,000 one-time money, that's how it gets up to $750,000. The second year it drops back to the $150,000, but then you have a new $150,000 from new money. So that gets it to $300,000. The following year you set aside another $150,000, that's $450,000. You do that for 4 years, and then from there on out they have $600,000 of earmarked money every year going into technology.
Wow.
So that's our plan that we've worked out with the schools. And again, we needed to stair step into it,
Yeah.
but we were able to come up with money to jumpstart it this first year.
That is amazing. That you've really had to do some juggling and some balancing, and
Yeah.
that's quite a feat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're very pleased with it. Like I said, there won't be any tax increase for that. The other thing I think that was important, we didn't have to take any action on it, but we have talked previously about financing the Maxwell Regional Agricultural and Convention Center. And then we also have plans for a new 911 center, which we have to do. The state is on us to do that. And so we've been working that out. I presented the board with the plan on that. We've got that taken care of. And the principal way we're going to pay for that is we have about $1.7 million of debt that is coming off our books in fiscal year 20.
Okay.
Now, the budget we're doing now is for fiscal year 17. Our fiscal year is July to June, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
So we just need to bridge that for 2 more years, and I don't issue the debt until fiscal year 18. So I need to get past 18 and 19. Well, in fiscal year 20, I've got $1.7 million coming free.
Right.
And that's more than we need to cover both of those. In addition to that, in fiscal year 21, we have $552,000 more coming off our debt. So we've got all of that covered, and so all of those projects can be done with no tax increase.
Man, that's very impressive. So the Maxwell Center will be done.
Yeah. The 911
center will be done.
And
without a tax increase.
And the schools will be done.
And the schools will all be done.
And the jail.
Well, you've been busy.
Yeah, and the jail should be finished in October.
You have really been busy. You and Dr. Dunsmore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's done a great job. He's been good to work with.
Yeah, you mentioned the jail being finished in October. They have really moved on that.
They have. Daniels & Daniels is doing a great job on that. We're very pleased with the construction to date. Mosley Architects has given us a very good design. Mm-hmm. This is patterned after one that they did in Rowan County, Salisbury.
Right. Yeah.
And so we were able to go down there and tour it, walk through it, see what we liked about it and would anything we changed. And I jokingly told the architect when we took the tour, I said, just change the brick color and I'll take it home tomorrow. But it's worked out well.
Okay.
And we're extremely pleased. Obviously, Sheriff Pierce is very pleased with it. He's ready to go.
Well, this is going to be a major move for us here in Wayne County because we have been using facilities outside Wayne County to house our inmates.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We're paying $50 a day, and we probably average about 65 of these inmates a day, so that's a lot of money.
That's over $3,000, $3,500 a day.
Right, and that's 365 days out of the year. So when you are able to not have to undergo that cost, and in fact, we will have, you build a jail for some expansion capability, because we built this for a 15, 20-year period. We should be in the market to where we can then lease out space to other people. And hopefully then we start getting the $50 coming our way instead of going out.
Instead of going out. Yeah.
And that's certainly our plan, and Sheriff Pierce and I have talked about that extensively. So we're looking forward to stopping payments and starting to get some in. And we won't do that immediately in October. We'll stop the payments in October, but they probably need a couple of months to kind of get their feet on the ground, get used to the new facilities and all that. Yeah.
So we're actually, and in fact, just going wild with this thing, this could actually be a break-even point somewhere down the road. We actually end up with a surplus, making money on it.
That's right. If you look at, if we had budgeted around $800,000 going out, and we're able to turn around and bring $900,000 in, that's a $1.7 million turnaround. That'll definitely pay far more than the additional people that we're having to hire and the electricity and all that.
Oh, yes.
And with some money left over.
Yeah.
So it's a good move.
That is a good move.
The other thing is it's less of an irritation. I mean, if you can imagine if somebody's in jail and their lawyer needs to come see them, I mean, if we shipped them down to Kinston or Onslow County or whatever, we're actually obligated. We have to bring them back in.
Oh,
so
boy.
that's so in addition to
well.
that $50 a day, we've got those transport costs, and that's tying up deputy sheriffs or jailers for that. So
Sure
there is a lot involved in this. It's just going to be much more convenient for us.
It is that. Wow. Okay, well that's exciting, and we're looking at an October date.
That's right. Yeah, I think the end of October is when we're projecting that'll be
right.
open.
Great. Well, we'll be out there with a camera.
Good.
Yes,
we
sir.
want you there.
Better believe it. Okay, is there anything else we need to cover today?
I think those are the main things.
I think those are pretty impressive.
I would like to invite people that if they want to sit in on the budget work sessions, the one on the 14th is at 9 a.m. in the commissioner's offices, the commissioner's room, excuse me. And the next day at 1 p.m. is for the outside agencies. And then our plan is to have the budget up for a vote on the 21st at their regular meeting at 9 o'clock.
All right, very good. Wayne County Manager George Wood has been our guest today, doing a very fine job there. Very impressive what you've been able to accomplish in just a short amount of time.
Thank you, Wayne.
And we appreciate you so much. Thank you.